It's Samuel from the Yes to Life show, and today we're preparing a super simple and delicious tofu bolognese. Let's get started. Sometimes you just want a recipe that goes quick, doesn't take a lot of time and still is super delicious. And that's why it's always handy to make a delicious simple pasta sauce. Now for this recipe you don't need a lot of ingredients, but some of the ingredients are essential to really bring out the flavor. As a protein source in this recipe I use organic tofu, but if you don't want to use tofu you can use cooked lentils instead. So we will start by bringing the pan to medium-high heat and add a little bit of oil. And at first we want to fry the onion. I've already cut the onion beforehand, as well as the carrots into rather small dices. And we first want to fry the onion for a couple of minutes. Then we will crumble in the tofu, fry it again, throw in the carrots, the sauce, and let it simmer for 10 to 15 minutes. Now the pan is getting hot, so I'm adding in the onions and make sure to stir it. In the beginning, onion is quite sharp, and the longer you fry it, the longer you cook it, the sweeter the onion actually becomes. For the tofu, I have firm tofu, and I haven't drained it, as you can see, because I will just crumble it into the pan anyway, and later it will be part of the sauce. And I've used 2 blocks of around 200 grams. So in total it's 400 grams of tofu. Of course you can add less if you want, or as I said earlier, you can use black lentils or brown lentils as well. Now the smell of the onion really comes out, it's super delicious. You can add in some garlic right now as well, but I wanted to make it quick and easy, so I left out the garlic for now. Now it's time to add the tofu. For that I simply break it apart, and then with my hand I crumble it into the pan. And that way you just have a nice consistency later for the sauce. Now stir it again and fry it here for 2 to 3 minutes, and then we add in the carrot and the rest. Now the part of this recipe that takes the longest is actually getting the carrots to their right consistency, because you want them to be somewhat soft yet still somewhat firm. If you want this to be a super quick recipe, leave out the carrots or add zucchini instead, and that way you will save yourself 10 minutes in total. Now after frying the tofu for 3-4 minutes, I will add in the carrots as well as some vegetable stock. So I've taken half a tablespoon of dried vegetable stock powder and poured hot water on top. Stir it, and then you can add it to the sauce. Add a little bit of water as well, and then stir it well. Now we want to create a flavorful sauce in which the carrots and the tofu can simmer. And for that I have canned tomatoes or tomato sauce. You can use whatever you have at hand. I will add it in there. And again, make sure to add a bit of water, because a lot of the water will evaporate while you cook it. At this point we can start to flavor the sauce. So for that I choose dried thyme. I add it in there. Not too much, because it actually has quite an intense flavor. And some black pepper and salt. Just go for as much as you want. A pinch of salt, not too much, because we actually boiled the pasta already in salted water, so we don't want the whole dish to be over salted. And this is optional, but I would advise you to add a pinch of sugar, because the sugar balances the acidity of the tomatoes. Of course, if you want to avoid sugar, simply leave it out. And one secret ingredient that's super special and will bring up the whole flavor profile of this dish is lemon zest. So take a lemon and simply add a little bit of the zest. Just make sure to add the yellow part of the lemon and not the white part, because the white part actually tends to get bitter. And if you have a lid, you can place that on top. I don't have a lid for that pan, so I let it simmer like that, and I will add in a little bit of water later to make sure it has enough liquid. This simmering probably takes somewhere around 10 to 15 minutes. Now the sauce is almost ready. Make sure to check the carrots if they have the right texture that you want. And now we're gonna add some nutritional yeast, which also is a special ingredient in this recipe. If you don't have nutritional yeast, what you can do is you can take a 1/4 cup of walnuts, grind them very finely in a blender, and then you add them into the sauce. It makes the sauce thicker and also gives this almost cheese-like flavor. But I will add some nutritional yeast, around 3 to 4 tablespoons. And it will thicken the sauce, but it will also add this nice cheesy flavor to the dish. And of course, nutritional yeast is pretty high in protein. From the pasta, I've taken some of the water, because the water is full of starch and has the pasta flavor. So we will add that in here as well. It will make the whole sauce creamier and more delicious in the end. Boil it for another 1 to 2 minutes. and then we will add the pasta. I've already pre-boiled the pasta, and the last step is to just add it into the sauce. If you want to go for a really high protein dish, you can use lentil pasta or pasta made from green peas, because it usually has around 24 grams of protein per 100 grams. That's a lot. Or you can try to make your own lentil pasta. Make sure to check out the video that we have on the channel. I link it up here. And the pasta is ready. It's enough to feed a small family, or if you have a lot of hunger, it's enough for 2 people. You can garnish it with some fresh basil leaves on top or some fresh parsley. You can drizzle some olive oil on top. Really up to you. I hope you did like this recipe. The sauce overall takes maybe like 15 minutes until it's ready. If you leave out the carrots, it can be done even quicker. Make sure to leave a like and a comment down below and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in the future. Thanks for watching. See you next time.